Okay, so in this part of the challenge, we are going to go ahead and do another example of this function. So remember, we are examining the function, f of x equals 1 over x minus h, where h is a constant. In this example, we're going to let h equal 5. So our function becomes f of x equals 1 over x minus 5. Okay, so again, don't forget this is 1 divided by x minus 5. Okay, when you are using maybe your calculator to evaluate this. So we're going to do the same exact thing we did with the first function, where we're first going to create a table of values. So I'll let you pause the video here and write this down on the next page of your notebook. And then we'll go ahead and create a table of values. Okay, so let's go ahead and make our table. Again, we need our 2 columns, and then we'll do 10 rows. Sorry, let's do 11 rows. And then we have our input, which is x, our output, which is f of x. Let's make this smaller. And we're going to do different values this time. I'm going to do 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, 4.9, 4.99, and then 5. And then I'm going to do 5.1, let's do 5.01, 5.1, 5.4, 5.5. 5.6. And I'm going to have you go ahead and evaluate this function at these inputs. So I'll do the first one for you. Again, to find out what f of my very first x is 4.5. So I want to know where I am at f equals 4.5. So I will take my function, 1 over x is now 4.5. We're making x equal to 4.5. So it's going to be 1 over 4.5 minus 5. Okay. Again, you can use your calculator for this if you'd like. We know this top part stays 1. 4.5 minus 5 is negative 0.5. So we actually have 1 divided by negative 0.5, which simplifies to 1 divided by negative 0.5, negative 0.5 is equal to negative 2. So this is equal to negative 2. Okay, so the output when our input is 4.5 is negative 2. Let me do the second one with you, and then I would like for you to try finding out the outputs on your own. So our second one is f of 4.6. Same thing, our input is now 4.6. So we have 1 over 4.6 minus 5. And it is 1 divided by 4.6 minus 5 is equal to negative 0.4, which is equal to, so we need 1 divided by negative 0.4, which is negative 2.5. Okay, so then when our input is 4.6, our output is negative 2.5. So go ahead, finish this table by yourself. Pause the video while you complete the table, and then when you're finished with your table, keep the video going. All right, so hopefully you were able to finish your table of values. And we are going to go ahead and discuss, or we're going to go ahead and graph your table of values. So we're going to do the same thing we did in the previous step where we have a graph. Again, notice what your x values are. It goes from 4.5 to 5.6. So, you know, I can create a table of values. Oh, no, sorry, not table of values, XY axis. That kind of works. Again, you already have notebook paper. you have a graphing notebook paper, you just need to label your axes and label your and label your scale. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go to 4.5, -2. That was one of my first points. And 4.6, -2.5. So I can go ahead and go to 4.5, -2. And then 4.6, -2.5. Okay, and then you can go ahead and keep going. Graph all the points in your data table. And notice what happens. So after you graph your points, you're going to go ahead and answer the question. Sorry. Answer the following question. What do you notice happens to your graph as x approaches 5 from the left side? What happens as x approaches 5 from the right side? So there's, you know, as you get closer and closer to 5 from the left side, so we're going to get closer and closer to 5, what happens? And then as we get closer and closer to 5 from the right side, what happens to your graph? There's no right or wrong answer here. I just want to see what you observe, what you're able to graph and observe on your own. And we'll check in during workshop if you have trouble with this. But whatever you have, take a photo of this page and then upload it on Dreamseed Do. So finish your table of values, graph your table of values, and then answer these two questions.